Hello to my fellow history lovers and people that think if I learn something new, it will be a good day. It's a sunny day here in March, and this is the Illinois River behind me. And our question for today is, why did many Native Americans side with the British? And let's look at it. Many Native Americans nations had already been decimated by the time that the Revolutionary War began. For years, colonial entities and surveyors were infringing on their homelands and expanding westward. Therefore, many Native nations sided with the British simply because they had set at least some boundaries on colonial expansion. So if you remember, after the French and Indian War, the British do try to create a line of demarcation over which no more settlement would happen, although it wasn't enforced very well. But at least the Native Americans are thinking, well, it's something, and otherwise they're worried a flood of colonists are just going to come and take all of their lands. Most Native nations wanted to remain neutral when the war began, seeing this as a fight among the English. But as the conflict continued, Native nations who provided vital supplies and had excellent scouts and warriors received increasing pressure from both British and Patriots, each side taking a "are you with us or against us" stance. The war did nothing to improve the colonists' perception of Native Americans, and it did not matter whether tribes fought for the British or the Revolutionaries or remained neutral. Their treaties were mostly disregarded afterwards, and the persecution continued in the years after the war. And I've said that before, that our country, like every country in the United States, has dark parts of our history that I'm sure if we could, we'd like to go back and change. But I think, and I've said this before over and over, the treatment of Native Americans, slavery, that you still have to look at in the face, right? Like, be honest, these things happened, but not as a sense of guilt, but as a sense of what have we done since then to ensure it doesn't happen again, these things don't happen again in the future. And I told the story briefly about, I have a friend who was going to visit Rwanda, and the tour guide wanted her to see the Rwanda Genocide Museum, and my friend was like, no way am I going to go see that depressing thing. And the woman said, we don't see it that way. We see it as how far we've come to ensure this won't happen in future generations. We need to face it to make sure it doesn't happen again. And I think with Native Americans, to face, some horrible things, land taken, people being killed, et cetera, to say this happened, we face it straight on, to make sure that in future generations, knowing that it's not because it happened because we're American or happened just in America, these sort of things happen worldwide. It happens because of human nature. But the forward-looking thing, which is I think the Rwanda woman was getting at, is what in our human nature is then trying to make us prevent it happening again. Thank you for letting me share. I'll see you tomorrow.